In the first discussions, we have how good presentations can give benefit your company. It is actually presentations can give benefits for our company. That is to give information. The second is convince the listeners. And the third is motivate the listeners to take an action and then make a new reformations. And the fifth is touch listener emotions. And the last is promote and introduce our company to the other company. So actually, if we are give a good presentation to the other company related to our company, it is actually we are saying if we are giving promotions and introductions, and also we are can make a reformations related to our company itself. And we are also can give and add some informations related to the other company to our company. So we are going to the next discussions. The second discussions we have how speakers should prepare before giving presentations. Actually, there are 8 things that the speakers should attention before they are giving materials in the presentations. The first is planning. So plan your presentation carefully because preparations will make you more confident and help you to overcome your nervousness. It is the truth because if you have a planning, you can handle the situations during the presentations. So you not be nervous or more confident during the presentations. You can confidence and you can give the materials clearly in the front of the audience. The second is objective. So think about what you want to achieve in the materials. Are you aiming to inform, persuade, or entertain your audience? It should have to be think in before the presentations. The third is the audience. So before the presentations, you should have to know whom exactly will you be addressing. How many people will be attending in your presentations? What do they need to know? And what do they already know? What will they expect in terms on the contents and approach? So if you knowing about your audience, you will more easy to handle them during your presentations. The next is content. So brainstorm your ideas firstly. Decide which are more relevant and appropriate to your audience and to your objective and carry out any research that is necessary. And do not try to cram too much into your presentations. And then the next is approach. A good rule is to tell your audience what you are going to say. Say it, then tell the audience what you have said. Try to develop your key points in an interesting and varied way, drawing on relevant examples, figures, and also etc. For your support as appropriate, you might also like to include 1, 2, or anecdotes, or like additional variety or humor, like a joke to make the conditions in the presentations still calm and still funny. And the next is organizations. Think about how you will organize your content. Your presentation should have a clear, coherent structure and cover the point you wish to make in a logical order. The most presentations start with a brief introductions at the end with the brief conclusions. Use the introductions to welcome your audience and introduce your topic or your subject, outline the structure of your talk, and provide guidelines on questions. Use conclusions to summarize the main point of your presentations, and then say thanks to the audience for their attention and invite questions also. So this is the organized to make an arrangement during the presentation. The first is introductions, and then in introductions we should have to introduce our topic or our subject. At the first is say thank you and welcome to the audience, and then conclusions, and also in the conclusions we take the summarize the main point of our presentations. And then the last is don't forget to say thank you to the audience for their attentions and their attending to your presentations. And don't forget also to invite them to make a questions, and we should have to answer their questions directly or carefully or clearly. And the next is visual aids. If you have a lot of complex information to explain, think about using some charts, diagrams, graphs, or etc. On an overhead projector or flip chart, visual aids can make a presentation more interesting and easier to understand, but make sure they are appropriate and clear. Do not try to put too much information on each one. So visual aids is important also because it is make the our presentations clearly and also more interesting. And the last is rehearsal. Allow time to practice your presentations. This will give you a chance to identify any weak points or gaps. You will also be able to check the timing and make sure you can pronounce any figures and proper names correctly and confidently. So we are going to the third discussions. In the third discussions, we have the qualities of a good speaker. For being a good speaker, we should have to know what is the characteristic of the good speakers. The first is they are always mastering the materials well. So if we are having so many knowledge and also that we are having to read the materials, we are have to master the materials well. So it means they are already to give the presentations well to the audience, and if the audience giving questions, the speakers that mastering the materials well can answer the questions clearly and completely. The second is confidence and have courage. So any people have a confidence and have a courage by them. So we have to confidence because we will talk in the public speaking. We will talk in the front of so many audience in front of us. So if we don't have confidence and have courage much, we cannot to give presentations well. And the third is can arrange the language well. Language is the most important also because we are always talking during the presentations. We can arrange our language and give the clearly and effective words to our audience. It will make the audience more interesting and more easy to understand our materials based on our presentation. The third is able to display ideas smoothly and regularly. and then able to make quick reactions in any situations during the presentations, and has a calm attitude. And we are going to the fourth discussions. The fourth discussions we have how speakers can keep the attentions of the audience. So if we are a speakers, it is of course we want to audience is attention to our materials. So how to make a speakers keep their attentions to us? The first is make an eye contact with the participants. Make an eye contact one by one for about 2 minutes for each person or for each audience. The second is use facial expressions that are expressive but natural when asking a questions. Do not use aggressive and also expressive facial expressions. The third is always stand tall with both feet when delivering the materials. Do not stand on one leg. And then the fourth is the position of the hand is always open and when delivering the materials, because closed hands tend to show a sense of nervousness and lack of confidence. So do not make your hand like this. So be easy and calm during your presentations. And fifth is involve the audience during the presentations and give them a space to speak to. Yes, this is the important one, because if we are giving if we are involve our audience, we will get feedback from them, because if we are give a feedback, our materials will be clearly arranged. So if we give them also space to speak to, we can also develop our ideas. And yeah, so it is very important. The fifth is the last point, the last discussions is the effective of using visual aids in presentations. And as I said before, the using of visual aids in presentations is very important, because it will make your presentation slide or your presentations materials will more easy to understand, or more interesting in front of the audience. The visual aids itself include Microsoft PowerPoint presentations, Windows Movie Maker slides, slideshows, and videos and music or talk and training videos. The basic guidelines will help presenters use the most effective tools. And then the effective one, make sure they are appropriate and clear. So make sure your audience is get your information, get your materials very clearly, because if there are so many visual aids in our presentation slide, for example, is the diagrams, but your audience cannot understand what do you mean about the diagrams. It is the same, you are failed to give their information, because they cannot catch your means during your presentations. So please, make your visual aids effectively, like just use visual aids like the charts, diagrams, and also the graphs. It is like the other one. So I think that's all for my presentations. I hope you can get some information and you can enjoy this video. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.